A Slice of the Community is made possible by the support of the First Horizon Foundation.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Slice of the Community. I'm Jerome Moore, and today we're joined by Partee and Javvon Jones, the founders of Nashville Black Market. How y'all doing?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Nah, thanks for y'all being here. You know, we got to talk about the empowerment of Black-owned business in Nashville. And firstly, congratulations on 5 years with the Nashville Black Market. How does that feel? 5 years in business, amplifying and impacting Black-owned businesses in Nashville. Just Middle Tennessee, because I know y'all travel too.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I don't know, just the work that we're doing, it just, motivates us every day just to kind of get up and kind of figure out like how we can kind of keep amplifying, also like sourcing and cultivating new businesses. We talk pretty much like all day, every day about it. So it's just, I think it's something that's really big on our minds right now. So.
No, it feels like it's a lot more to be done.
Yeah.
It's like we're just not getting started, even though it's been 5 years.
Yeah. So as far as like a lot more to be done, y'all are working with entrepreneurs, Black-owned entrepreneurs, like all day, every day. That's what y'all do.
Yeah.
What are y'all hearing from like the city right now from Black entrepreneurs, Black small business owners in the city?
It's a lot.
Yeah, tell us, unpack it a little bit.
It's a lot of different perspectives, especially like businesses that are at the development stages and businesses that have been, together for a few years or a multitude of years. So you hear a lot about funding. You hear a lot about scalability. You hear a lot about, partnerships. You hear a lot about sponsorships. It's just so much. It's so much that needs to be covered.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one of our parts is like helping these businesses navigate through the marketplace. But also kind of finding ways that we can kind of help them, bridge the gap between whatever that they're missing. So like Jay's perspective might be different, but like these businesses are growing, they're profitable. They like don't sleep on these mom and pop businesses. They're $1 million businesses. And a lot of the times they don't have the access to scale them, or they don't have the access to, have these multiple locations or whatever it is that they may need to, continue their business to grow. And I think it's a disconnect. It's missing there between, the hierarchies and whoever, makes that channel and that flow, because a lot of these businesses didn't get those recovery funds or those, PPPs and different things of that nature. A lot of those businesses didn't have the access to them or didn't have the proper knowledge or education or, paperwork for them to sign up and get it and access it, but also they just didn't have the connection that these other businesses or the counterparts that we, have in business do.
How about you, Devon?
I'm looking at a different perspective, like you said, I may be doing. So I look at it as what I've been hearing is a lot of inspiration, a lot of motivation that we're giving these mom and pops or these young entrepreneurs or these business owners been around for a long time. I hear a lot of thank you, a lot of just aspiration that they give us to keep going, because they're saying, hey, you guys had a marketplace that you guys started. You guys are young, we had an event for 4 hours and I was able to make these type of dollars, that's gonna benefit not only my business, but my family. So it's like, I'm hearing a lot of like success, a lot of impactful conversations and things like that, so.
You brought up, Carlos, funding, right? Which is important when you talk about scalability and sustainability with any business, right? But we know there's discrepancies when it comes to Black-owned businesses in their counterparts when it comes to finding funding, finding sponsorships, whether you're a small business or nonprofit. That funding thing is always disparities. Talk to us a little bit about that, of how you all have been able to kind of work with some of the small business owners, Black ones here in Nashville, around like finding funding, or even just doing the Nashville Black Market, enabling businesses to make that extra $1,000 that they may need in a month, or $5,000.
Yeah, 2021 to, what is that, 2022, we put over $700,000 back into the community.
$700,000?
Yeah, just by circulating the Black dollar, these businesses that we have in our marketplace, month to month, or these multi-festival, cultural festivals that we have, being able to empower these businesses, bringing people to the marketplace, bringing them customers, consumers, lifelong businesses are being able to kind of like scale their business. So we have businesses that come to our events that are able to get their own brick and mortar now, or they're able to, continue to build their business. And I think that's like been our goal, is to kind of figure out how we can kind of bridge the gap between those disparities and those things that these business owners are not having access to, or being able to kind of create those proper channels through the people that we partner with that may have FDIC or, these different banks or whatever the case may be. So I think that's been our goal, is just to how can we continue to empower these businesses.
I'm gonna ask you a different question, Javvon. What are some resources specifically, especially when it comes to funding, that just you all see that Black-owned businesses are just not aware of? When it comes like, oh, I didn't even know like this was available. I didn't know like I'm eligible to get this grant, or there's funding here. Can you talk to us a little bit about some of those resources?
It's a lot of partners that we work with, like Urban League, Corner to Corner, Pathway Lending, that hone in on certain different resources as far as their program. And for them to work with us, we kind of are able to kind of communicate that to the vendors or the business owners that wasn't aware of that, if that makes sense.
What are the two dynamics that you see, especially with like new entrepreneurs, that makes them succeed and then makes them maybe like fail? What are some characteristics or dynamics when you all are working with these small businesses, or just some people say, hey, y'all doing this, help me. Like what are some of those characteristics of like, okay, because entrepreneurship is not easy, right? And people see it and it look great, it look fun, like, oh, okay, they doing their thing at the farmer's market or the fairgrounds, right? Yeah. But they don't see all the work that goes into it a lot of times. They just see like the end result. Talk to us a little bit about like those characteristics that you see, those traits that help some succeed and others not so much.
I don't really see one failing. I see one learning slowly than the next person. I feel like every step towards a business step is like a process, so some might catch on quick, just like in school, some might catch on quick, some catch on slow or whatnot. Might take them a little more time, but they still get there at some point. So, I always tell them, like, as long as you keep that mind strong and your business strategy and keep working on your business strategy to get to a certain point, to where point your level is, you're gonna end up being successful. Right. As far as the characteristic of learning how to have a good setup at a pop-up shop, or learning how to have communication, being organized. A lot of these business owners lack in some of these places because in their part of their life, that's what they lack at. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's always a working, consistent situation. Right. So
hey, Carlos, in your own kind of way or form, what does it mean to be a Black entrepreneur, a Black small business owner? What does that mean? If you had like a value statement or a mission statement, like what does that mean?
I wouldn't say it would be like a mission statement or like I'm an entrepreneur just like any other, my other counterparts. I just happen to be, African American, or I may be, a different ethnicity or whatever the case may be with a minority owned business. But it's just the, some of these businesses, or a minority owned business or a Black owned business, they might have been born in a zip code that, may make their business a little bit more lesser than the next business, or it may be, their credit or whatever it is upon their, their presentation may make them, slower to the next business, or, it's always been put in a box to where it's like, a Black entrepreneur, Black artist, Black this, Black that, and it's just at the end of the day, we're all entrepreneurs and creatives and business owners. But what makes us different is, the innovation of what we've been able to kind of create with the lack of access and tools that these other business owners are able to kind of, obtain. And that's what always makes us a little bit more unique, or it makes it like, oh, wow, that's a Black-owned business, or, you need to support these businesses. And I think it's been like it was a really big wave after the George Floyd. A lot of people were supporting and, kind of, raising these businesses up, and what can they do? Can we donate? Can we do this? And, it kind of started to simmer down after so long of, not being able to kind of, it being in the forefront. It started to just become this thing of where you're a Black entrepreneur, you're a Black business owner, and it just kind of labels and puts us in a box to where like we're not able to kind of create, or kind of cuts us off at the legs to be able to kind of get other resources and tools that we may need as well. So
Right. I want to you bring up a good like time point that George Floyd 2020 also during the pandemic. You know, a lot of businesses will birth out of the pandemic because of the need of necessity and needing a side hustle or just needing extra income or loss of employment, right?
Yeah.
Have y'all seen Nashville Black entrepreneurs and business owners kind of bump up or scale up even during the pandemic? Because, you know, it's thriving. I think I've seen something you said it went up like 15% or something like that, from 13 to 15% or something like that, those stats, when it comes to the number of Black-owned businesses now in Nashville.
Yeah. I think the pandemic birthed a lot of creative entrepreneurs, a lot of businesses were birthed during COVID. And I think it was a really good thing, but it also kind of gave these people to kind of like be put on pause to be able to kind of, you know, whatever it was in their life to kind of, you know, search for their talents and find those things that they've always wanted to do and what they were credible at doing but weren't getting paid for it to do. And I think it was I don't think it was a good thing. I think it was able to kind of give these people like the chance to kind of put whatever it is out there into the universe and see how it comes back to them.
Right.
And I think Nashville at the time was like ready for like this birth of like new entrepreneurship, to where it was people selling stuff on Facebook or people selling stuff on Instagram or shipping their products from here to there, or, you know, influencers, or you just creating this product out of desperation and it, you know, shocks the world.
Right.
I think, you know, it gave entrepreneurs the chance to kind of see, okay, I can do this too. I can create this, or I can build my business and scale it from here to there. I think it even gave us the idea of like, we have to go to marketing, we have to go online, we have to make our products available for everyone, but also be able to kind of teach and scale other businesses how we're doing it and give them an operating and processing and systems and stuff like that. So it put us on halt, but it also gave us the chance to kind of like open up new doors and see things that we weren't able to see because we were always in the grind. We're always focused, and we always had this freedom of being, you know, out in the open without, you know, any quote unquote consequences. And I think that just gave us the chance to kind of like see, okay, these entrepreneurs need a chance to keep scaling their business.
Yeah, I kind of felt like I was like in the escape game. We was like in the escape game where it's like, we're gonna put you in this room, you're gonna have to figure out how to get out. You know what I'm saying? Like it make your mind even more stronger when you're in a smaller, you know, space.
Mind space as well. Like it really, like, you know, like you're tied up. It's like, it, you know, and it wasn't anything nobody could do. And it, you know, it was a time.
Survival mode.
Yeah, it was like a survival mode, especially for these businesses, because imagine a brick and mortar location, somewhere you go to every day, or something we deal with people. And so us not being able to have our marketplace, it kind of like cut us off at the legs, to where we were like, okay, what do we do? Like what's next? What do we, you know, like what's the next step for our business?
How do you pivot?
Yeah, like how do you pivot? And I think it also just like, imagine Instagram or social media stopping for 10 weeks. It's like, what would businesses do? Like
get a billboard. Get back television.
Yeah, it would go back to traditional marketing, guerrilla marketing. And so I think that's what it kind of gave a lot of people to understand. It's like, okay, everything, you got to value what you have at the moment. So,
in the Black community, this Black culture, a lot of times we always hashtag and support Black-owned businesses, support Black businesses, right? But a lot of times it doesn't happen consistently. Like it's something tragic happens, or it's some type of an event, and then like you kind of mentioned, it goes up and then it simmered down. How can we, or what are strategies that community can use, Black folks or just allies, everybody, to consistently support Black-owned businesses in Nashville? I'll start with you, Javvon.
I think marketing is big, just like putting it out there. A lot of people say, oh, I didn't know I was able to do that. I didn't know I was able to volunteer here, or I didn't know about this right here going on. It's still people that don't know about the Nashville Black Market. And we've been doing it 5 years.
I don't believe that.
No, I'm serious. And it's like, we've been doing it 5 years, so it's like, never stop. Like, that's what I was telling them the other day. It's like, we need to think about going back to our roots on how we began to start, and like going the traditional way more than and doing a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? Balancing out to get the word out.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, just more so word of mouth and just more so getting your brand out there to realize that, hey, you can sign up right here to be a part of this.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Carlos? What are some strategies that people can use to consistently support Black entrepreneurs, Black small-owned businesses here in Nashville, and not just do it, you know, like I'm gonna do it this one time because something happened, but something on a consistent basis to where, like, okay.
Yeah. Honestly, shop with them, support them. Yeah. You can repost their stories. You could tag people in their posts. There's so many different ways that you can support without even have to, you know, spend your money. It's letting your coworkers know, letting your staff know, or having your business sponsor something that they're doing. I mean, it's just so many different ways that we can support one another here in this community, and there's so many more ways that we're probably not even thinking about. It's just the collaboration, that we really think that you know, the Nashville Black Market wouldn't be where it was without the people. And so if you don't have the people and you don't support those people, it doesn't continue to grow.
Right.
And so, like, that goes for the same thing with the people that support our businesses. If you don't keep supporting, like, stuff doesn't grow. And that's really the key, is supporting, like figuring out what way you can support. So if it's not money, supporting sharing. If it's not sharing, supporting, telling somebody else about it. Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You know, you have to kind of communicate that, and you got to keep pushing it. And I think we also are trying to find different ways to engage with different communities and different people to understand, like, we're inviting everybody out. This is a festival, a cultural festival, and you should come and you should support, but also support after the event as well. Support the retail stores, support these businesses on their websites, support, you know, businesses that are also brick and mortar locations that are surrounding. And I think it's going to take a lot more work within Nashville in general, whether it's tourism, whether it's, you know, us coming together and finding more ways to kind of support us as a whole. But I think it's definitely happening here in Nashville. It's starting to become this thing of, like, where we see it at the events and we're like, oh, wow, we weren't expecting that, or, oh, wow, we weren't expecting that repost or that, you know, tag. So we're appreciative of what Nashville is becoming.
And so speaking of Nashville, let's look at Nashville like as a system, right? With different government bodies. I know, like, the mayoral administration is real, like, important as far as decision making when it comes to, like, how we spend our dollars economically and who that impacts. What are some strategies the city as a whole and these entities and these bodies, what could they do to better support Black-owned businesses and making sure they can have that impact on the city, especially with all this economic growth, and be a part of that, and get a whole, like, big slice, you know what I'm saying, of the pie that's happening, you know what I'm saying, here in Nashville?
It's so much.
Yeah, name them. Go back and forth. Because I think like one, people need to hear this and know where to start. Also, but, like, from a citywide thing, you know, if you're from here, right, you like, well, we already know kind of the areas that have been historically neglected, but we see this growth that's happening in those same areas. Like, if I don't have a brick and mortar, how can I get some of that business? Well, we know the stadium is happening, right? Like, okay, I'm not a construction worker, right? But how can I be a part of the Titans and what they're doing? And so, like, what are some systems that can be built, or what are the things that systems that are already built intact can do in order to support Black-owned businesses?
So, we've been knowing about, like, Nashville's buzzing economy, downtown, honky tonk. Like, it's $1 billion industry. You know, they talk about 22 million made every day, or whatever those numbers theoretically are, but 74 million for, you know, these events that are coming through. And so, like, we need a piece of that. I think Nashville, Black Nashville, whatever part of Nashville, like, we need a piece of that. It doesn't just need to be centered or focused around just one area, when, you know, whether it's, you know, country music, or, you know, these events to where it's Music City this and Music City that. When Fisk is Music City Jubilee, we need a piece of that. We all need a piece of that, to where we can figure out how to circulate it, because if we have these bigger events that are coming into town, we can look at different cities and strategies that they've done where New Orleans really eats during, NFL when the Super Bowl is there because it's the city. They have to, make sure that these are put in position in place. But we can also look at different cities like Atlanta where they create the belt line or they create these different strategies to where they're helping these black-owned businesses succeed and not just, give a dog a bone and, you got to come, like we need more things set into place to where we can orchestrate and build and continue to build. We need places for incubation. We need places like, it's like I don't want to give away too many ideas and stuff because it's like they need to come and talk to us because there's so many different things that we could figure out and we could do that can like really enhance and empower our economic, we can stimulate it. We could really do some really big stuff here in Nashville. And I think it's just given the chance to make it happen.
I mean, just to piggyback on what you're saying, like we said not too long ago, a couple minutes ago, that from 2021 to 2022, $700,000 was circulated through our black business, through our events that we do once a month. 9 to 10 times out the year. $700,000. And it's like if we had a warehouse or if we had a place, the Nashville Black Market had a warehouse or a place that we can do this on 7 days a week. Or, it'll be way more money and way more,
the tourism rate would be crazy. People come here anyway just to come to the events, but also like, just imagine all our counterparts that are, people that we are in business with or people who have nightclubs or restaurants, like they're also missing a piece of what Nashville has as a whole too. So like, it's a disconnect somewhere.
But then also what I love about that is, one, it's not about y'all, right? It's about truly the amplification of other black-owned businesses, and it also gives them a consistent place to sell if they don't have a brick and mortar, but it gives a consistent place for community from all ethnic groups and walks of life to come and support if they want to in one big hub. And so I'm gonna go ahead and manifest it. I think, 2027, 2028, whatever that new dome stadium is finished, doing a Nashville Black Market inside the Titan Stadium will be amazing, or the soccer stadium. So I think those things are definitely possible and we can make happen. I want to kind of pivot into the success stories, right? If you all could share just like one success story each of a business that worked with y'all and y'all seen kind of just grow and blossom, and like they started just coming in, didn't know if they could do it, but then was able to evolve and guide it, and due to the Nashville Black Market or just through the mentorship or advisement of you all, has been able to do great things.
We always tell the businesses, start small, but start now, like get it together and figure it out, like, because your ideas are priceless. So like some of the stuff that I know I've seen is like a mom came to us and was like, hey, like I made my brick and mortar rent, like I made my money, like I'm able to pay for my kids' food, like this month I'm good, like thank you for that, like I appreciate y'all continuing to do this. And it just warms our heart, warms mine for sure, just to be able to kind of like know that we're like this connecting piece to like helping other businesses, but also like people and community as well. So it's like, it just gives us joy to, kind of consistently be able to bring people together for a good reason.
Right. How about you, Jerome? You got a story?
I like to hear, I like to make a shout out to a business owner named Kevin Covington. So he's from Memphis, Tennessee, and he creates, during COVID, he created different type of cocktail drinks and things like that. So he wasn't really unsure, and he came out to the Black Market, and ever since we had the Black Market, he wants to be a part of it every first Friday that we have it. But he makes like triple, quadruple of what of income, with us having the opportunity. He also gained clients to be able to do weddings, be able to do prom events and a different variety of situations. So now he was able to quit his job to do this full time. So
I'm gonna ask both of you this, like kind of like the ending question, right? To cap it off. So I really want y'all to think about this. Why is it important for Nashville to support Black-owned businesses? And if we don't, what happens? Y'all take 30 seconds apiece.
Why is it important?
Why is it important to support Black-owned businesses in Nashville? And if we don't, as a city, what happens?
It lose.
Why is it important first?
It's important to it's important to support Black-owned business because it's important to support any business that's in the world. When you got a creative mind that someone take time out to take a chance on doing it, and it's successful, and it's like you're giving hope to somebody, you pushing more than just supporting a business and they're making money.
Right.
You giving, it's so many people that gets depressed or have anxiety over them thinking that I set up at a place where I put my talent in front of someone, and they walk right by me. You know, it's like it does more than just supporting, you know, finances. It's supporting mentally. You know, you being here and having us on here. You took your time out to have these questions for us to be here to not, you know, elevate your platform, but also give us a chance, an opportunity to grow our business. So,
15 seconds.
It's important to support Black-owned businesses because they need the chance and opportunity to grow their businesses just like everyone else.
Well, look, man, I want to appreciate both of y'all. Keep doing what y'all doing. Keep empowering Black-owned businesses and empowering lives and empowering community, all right? I want to thank all of you at home for tuning in. Thanks again, and that's your episode of Slice of the Community.
A Slice of the Community is made possible by the support of the First Horizon Foundation.